Alright, welcome back everybody. You're watching the Premier League Season 3. My name is Triumphant Man and I'm casting Moscow 5 versus Quantic. This is game number 1 of Best of 3 series. Now we are just doing the drafting here, and then we'll be remaking shortly afterwards once the last, I think it's Sedoy. We're missing Sedoy from Moscow 5. However, Quantic here, they have the first ban, and we'll see what they decide to get rid of. Of course, there have been quite a few heroes that have been popping up lately. Batrider, of course, been very, very nasty as of late. And of course, Jakiro has been getting picked up more and more. He's become quite a scary opponent. We've seen a few nakes, a few lifestealers every now and then as well, but honestly, he's still more of a situational pick than anything else, and does need a few heroes, specific heroes, to back him up to make him really useful. On the other hand, Templar Assassin has been quite fierce and been getting banned very frequently as well. Many players extremely scared of that hero. Chen, also being by Moscow 5, he's remained a very staple hero in the metagame, despite the 6.75 changes and the shake-up to the items and lineups, of course. Second ban, though, Quantic, what will they get rid of now? They have picked off one of the biggest super solos at the moment, which is, of course, the Templar Assassin. We'll see what they decide to get rid of next. And it looks like Nagasarana, Hyundai says her first insta-pick, insta-ban, same as Lycan, have become quite numbered. She's really sort of slipped down the list of things when it comes to banning and picking, just because she's much more. A lot of teams know how to counter her better now, and at the same time, she also has lost some carry potential as well. Darkseid also being banned, he has definitely remained a strong pick. He's had a couple of nerfs here and there, but all around he's pretty much intact. His vacuum is pretty much as good as it used to be, and still it's tactically advantageous as it was before. Quantic, though, will open up with a Batrider pick, and Enchantress also being banned by Moscow 5. No real big surprise. If they weren't planning on picking the Enchantress, then they may as well ban her out. Chen also being banned there. It seems like Moscow 5 are a little bit worried about those junglers that can pop out and harass them and push very early on. They may decide to grab the Enigma hero as well, just because Enigma fulfills a very similar role in that retrospect. Can jump out with his Eidolons, he's split his Eidolons, and then tear down a tower very quickly. Alternatively, they want to go with an aggressive dual lane or tri-lane. They can also knock up, basically pick up that Leshrac. Leshrac, of course, still incredibly powerful despite having a minor nerf to Diabolical Edict. They are going to go into overtime though. Quantic, though, have picked the Batrider. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Bat. Bat, of course, so powerful. He was already good before. He was still big in the Southeast Asian scene every now and then, but now he is just utterly crazy good with all of his buffs. He's very, very mobile, very scary. And with the Blink Dagger, once he gets that Blink Dagger, he hits critical mass, and he's extremely good at jumping out of the middle of nowhere and just displacing someone, grabbing someone and dragging them back, and of course gets around. Really good for shutting down those annoying carries like Anti-Mage, or even every now and then when we see a pick, the Phantom Assassin. He can lock it down even through BKB and make sure that they can't get out of control. Just make sure you can pin them down and cause a lot of trouble. Moscow 5, though, for their second pick, they go with Shadow Shaman. Now, here's a hero that used to be a really big insta-pick, insta-ban kind of hero. That was going way back, though, months and months and months ago. Nice to see him actually hitting up the first series pick. Normally, whenever we see Shadow Shaman picked, he tends to be sort of a 4th or 5th tier pick. Doesn't generally get knocked up really early on. In fact, teams generally go for something like Leshrac ahead of the Shadow Shaman. That said, Shadow Shaman's still very strong. His wards are fantastic, teamfight control, and of course he has a lot of CC available. His Hex, his Shackles, as well as just being able to ward trap someone is also, if you can land that properly, it can really set somebody up to fail. A double pick now for Quantic. What will they decide to set up as a combo here? They've already got one of their solos here. They might decide to pick up a couple of supports, especially since Tidehunter and Shadow Shaman, two of the stronger supports currently, have been snapped up. Although I assume they're going to be supports. Both of them can be played as some kind of solo role. And we'll see what Quantic decide to grab here. They might want to watch out for the teamfight potential. Moscow 5 actually have a fair amount of teamfight potential here. Tidehunter plus Shadow Shaman, that's a lot of disable, a lot of strong AoE. But they decide to grab Wisp and Chaos Knight. Now this is something this is a combo we see from the CIS teams a lot. The Chaos Knight and the Wisp, or the Tiny and the Wisp, and basically it's a very aggressive, very mobile lineup, a very global lineup. Wisp and Chaos Knight just come screaming out of nowhere and gank people. And overall, Wisp and Chaos Knight is a fantastic combo. Reality Rift plus Tether pretty much means an instantaneous stun. You follow that up with a Chaos Bolt, and it's pretty much lights out whoever gets stuck within it. And just it comes down to the fact that also Chaos Knight is incredibly strong in the mid game, and also, I'm going to say this much though, they have knocked out a couple of they've knocked out two of the basically one of the best burst healers, which is Chen. Chen plus Chaos Knight and Wisp is utterly insane when it comes to terms of burst healing. It makes Chaos Knight incredibly difficult, or whoever Wisp is tethering, incredibly difficult to get rid of. So fortunately, Moscow 5, they have banned off that hero to make sure that they can't run the combo. That said, Quantic currently have a very strong gank line. This makes it very difficult. Moscow 5 can't really go with any kind of split push here. They may just want to bowl up and just go for a full-on push, just full-on 5-man push if they are deciding to push early, just because the more they split up, the easier it is for heroes like Batrider and Chaos Knight and Wisp to pick off enemy heroes. Just whenever they find themselves alone, or even just in a group of 2 or 3, it's very easy for Chaos Knight and Wisp to jump in, especially if Batrider gets his blink. Just jump in, isolate some heroes, CC people down, and drag them off to their death. Moscow 5 though, they grab their Puck, and they have a lot of teamfight here, although Puck is a hero that we haven't seen as much as of late, although I think we may see him come back a bit in the whole side lane, suicide solo lane, just because Anti-Mage is less prevalent now. Anti-Mage, Puck is not a bad suicide solo hero, it's just that Anti-Mage really tore him a new one. He just could not go up against the Anti-Mage lane. The mana break was utterly horrendous for Puck to have to deal with. That said though, he's also a very viable solo mid, so we may even see him tossed into that role as well. The next ban though by Quantic, they have decided to get rid of Faceless Void. Enigma also being banned by Moscow 5. See, they've just gone down the list. In terms of junglers, they've gone Chen, Enchantress, and Enigma, 3 of the best junglers in the game. Enigma is a very fast jungler. Chen and Enchantress can jump out the 2 to 4 minute mark and tear down towers. Same for Enigma. He's not quite as quick about it though, because of course the Idlers are not quite as dangerous as a whole bunch of level 5 creep. Moscow 5 definitely very worried about their weak lane being abused, and to me that says that they're going to stick a suicide solo that isn't particularly adept at handling. Tidehunter is okay, Park is okay at doing the suicide solo, but they're not that strong, and they decide to ban, actually, they ban the other suicide solo who is strong. Windrun is probably one of the best suicide solos at the moment. She gets banned out. And Anti-Mage also being banned by Quantic, getting rid of those hard carries. Morphling though, I don't know if we'll see Morphling banned. A lot of people are not as worried about him since his changes. They seem to feel he's a lot weaker than he used to be, particularly because he can't attack or cast spells while he's in wave form anymore, can't use actions. One final ban here for Quantic. Now they've got a bit of a theme. They're getting rid of those hard carries / semi carries in the form of Linnea, Void, as well as Anti-Mage. What will they knock off next? I think, just looking at their lineup there, I don't really see any huge gaping holes left in their lineup at the moment. It's what Moscow 5 want to abuse. I think Shadow Shaman and Tidehunter in this case are probably going to be supporters. So right now Moscow 5 are looking for their primary farmers. They could even toss a Leshrac in there as well. If Quantic aren't planning on using Leshrac, he's probably also still ban worthy. He's still a very common hero, very popular and strong hero. So I think Moscow 5 may decide to pick up the Leshrac. But they definitely could do, assuming that they have their primary supports picked up in the form of Shadow Shaman and Tidehunter, they could do with a couple more farmers. Whether or not they want to go for another hard carry, and they decide to get rid of the Naga Siren, which, fair enough, if you've got some teamfight potential in the form of Park, Shadow Shaman and Tidehunter, may as well get rid of the Naga Song, just in case, especially since Quantic, one of the big ways to deal with the Song of the Siren is just to have huge AoE counter initiation, and that is something that Quantic's lineup does not have. Wisp, Batrider, and Chaos Knight, they're very mobile, very good at jumping around the map and causing trouble, but at the same time, they're not very good. If they get hit by a Song of the Siren, Tidehunter moves in, Puck moves in, Shadow Shaman use that as cover, they all move in and start setting up a fight, then Quantic don't have that huge AoE in the form of something like Ravage just to stop the fight and give them a bit of breathing space and time to coordinate and set up a counter attack. So I can appreciate that ban. Even though Naga is nowhere near as strong as she used to be. The small icons for the bans, it's a bug since the last patch. And Quantic decided to pick up Keeper of the... I was about to say Creeper of the Light. Of course, he's a bit of a old lecherous man. But Keeper of the Light has been picked up by Quantic. And I'm just looking at this. Okay, this gives them, again, some good global. Also some really good push / counter push in the form of Illuminate. Of course, Illuminate, a really, really powerful, huge AoE nuke. And of course, with his ultimate, Keeper of the Light can summon people around, so they can reposition quite quickly. Keeper of the Light can drag someone in, Chaos Knight and Wisp can show up out of nowhere. This is a very mobile, very global. I'm just wondering if we might even see... No, I don't think we'll see a Furion. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see a Furion. And they decide to pick up a Clinks. Clinks in this case, I think is going to be the solo mid. I've seen this before. They go with Clinks, put him in the solo mid, and just try and get him some early farm. They can get about a 15-18 minute Orchid. It is incredibly powerful. And basically, Clinks they get the gank rolling. Wisp and Chaos Knight come in and go. Clinks jumps in and just aims to silence someone important. If you can grab the silence of them like Puck, Morphling, Shadow Shaman, just make sure they don't get any spells. It's not so much about the damage, it's just catching somebody with their pants down and making sure they don't have a huge spell at their disposal. It really, really turns fights around. Moscow 5, though, they have picked up the Morphling. I was saying that he's not as popular as he used to be, but when Quantic, they've banned Naga Siren, they've banned Anti-Mage and Void, it doesn't really leave them with a lot of choices left. We have seen a Phantom Assassin being used, both by, I think it was Na'Vi during the TI2, and also another team fairly recently. Didn't do that well, but I think it's still definitely, I still feel it's viable in some retrospect, but it looks like they decided to go with the Morphling. Morphling does still have a better early game, especially if he rushes. Especially if he rushes that Ethereal Blade. Jakiro, though, is being picked up by Moscow 5, and that is more likely to be a farmer in this case. I think they're actually going to give Tidehunter some Jakiro's going to be the support. Tidehunter is going to be some kind of semi-solo, semi-farmer. In this case, he might actually be the suicide guy, but we'll see. Anyway, I've got to disconnect as we are about to go back in and pick up. We are about to go and jump into the lobby again, and hopefully Seto is finished downloading. If not, there will be some rage. Okay, I'm seated. I'm sort of... Alright then. Fluff broken. Fluff is indeed playing for Quantic. I believe he is one of their standard players now. Quantic is still not tagged up. Alright, never mind. Well, Seto is in. That's a good sign. Now we just have to wait for Nexus Solo, Seto, Dread. Who are we waiting on? There we go. Stalliana, that's it. Alright, we're ready to rock and roll. Fantastic. Got 3 goes. We're good. Oh, we're just going to Quantic to put their logo on. There we go. Alright, so game number 1 is underway now. Let me just turn the voice record. Alright, people can hear me in Dota TV now. Alright. Hopefully Dota TV is on. Let me just double check. Of course, you can buy tickets to watch in-game. There we go, we're good. Alright, welcome back everybody. You're watching the Premier League Season 3. My name is Triumph. I will be casting this best of 3 series between Moscow 5 on the Dire side versus Team Quantic on the Radiant. Now this is a very interesting series lineup. Quantic have a very global, very gank-oriented strategy with a bit of counter-push / push thrown in the form of Keeper of the Light. On the other hand, Moscow 5 have gone for big, massive team vibe potential. We've got Jakiro with Macropire, Puck with his spells, Ravage from Tidehunter, the wards, the CC from the Shadow Shaman, and of course Morphling thrown in for a bit of carry as well, a bit of late game firepower. And he will be going up toe-to-toe with the Clinks. And we've seen Clinks is actually very, very strong in the late game. And still in the early game, if he gets a fast Orchid, he's a very viable, very dangerous threat. Doesn't quite have that whole insta-gib shotgun combo that Morphling with a fast Ethereal Blade has, but it's still pretty damn scary. Anyway, let's call out the players right now. Alright, so playing for Quantic on Batrider, we have Painted Gold, Lust playing Keeper of the Light, Korok playing Clinks, Fluff and Stuff playing Wisp, and Galaxy on the Chaos Knight. Playing for Moscow 5, we have Nexus playing Morphling, Solo playing Shadow Shaman, Setoi on the Tidehunter, and Dread on the Jakiro, Stalliana 5th and finally playing Puck. And Quantic immediately call a pause. Alright then. Looks like Nexus will be headed top. Setoi appears to note those. That's a fairly greedy set of items. I think he will be taking the Suicide Solo in a second. He has opened up with a shield. And that to me says he will be backed up. That to me says that the top lane, Morphling, is likely to be backed up here by Jakiro as well as Shadow Shaman. Puck going to be taking this solo mid in this case, I believe. Okay, Galaxy's saying his hotkeys are screwed up, which is why he's changing them right now. I noticed a post on Reddit actually, somebody complaining that every time he opened Dota, these hotkeys were resetting. No, apparently it's not unique. Nexus having some issues as well. Oh great, the Australia channel being spammed by trade whores again. Alright. Jakiro with fairly cheap item. In fact, it looks like he's pulled a bit. He's pulled a bit of items into the support role there. Morphling going for a fast facility. It's pretty stock standard stuff. Maybe we'll have a look at Chaos Knight and Wisp. Wisp has some wards. Looks like he's going to set them up in a blocking position. Are they going for an aggressive? No, surely not. Unless Batrider here could be trying to do the jungle. If Keeper of the Light's going to take a solo lane. Of course, we've seen Demon from EG do the whole solo Keeper of the Light before as well. Korok likely to be taking the mid. Although in this case he could actually go solo bottom as well if he wanted to. They could actually quite easily throw Keeper or Batrider into the mid if they wanted to. Pig is telling everybody check your hotkeys just because they could be screwed up. Yeah, Shadow Shaman with early wards as well. Looks like they are going to set up some counter wards early on just in case they have those pulls blocked. And even though they block some pulls, the Dire's side, so many pulls available, you can't really lock them all down. Of course, you can get the easy camp pull, which you can then bounce over to the hard camp over here. It is very difficult to lock all these down. And then, of course, such a good one. I don't know. Anyway, you can also pull the hard camp, of course, as well. So even if you block this medium camp here, it's quite easy to have plenty of other pulls available. Alright, they're ready. Finally, here we go. The question is, where are Quantic going to stick their mids? We see the Hypno, all hail the Hypno Toad apparently. Jeez, I need one of those. Looks like Batrider will be taking solo bottom. Clinks will be taking solo mid, which is pretty... You see Korok playing a hero, it's generally means solo mid incoming. And it looks like they will actually be backing him up with Keeper. Keeper of the Light won't be taking a solo role. He will actually be backing him up. And this is pretty damn strong as well, just because between Wisp and Chaos Knight, they can quite easily lock down a hero in preparation for an Illuminate. In fact, he's opened up with Illuminate there. That is a very nasty bunch of stuns. Plus Illuminate, of course, does so much damage. I'm actually quite scared, especially against an under. This is going to be an issue for them. Jakiro, of course, is a little bit tanky, but you've got stuff like Shadow Shaman, not that tanky. Even Morphling's a little bit vulnerable, especially if he starts morphing early agility as well. This is very dangerous to them, and under-level supports are not going to appreciate this combo as well. They are going to be very vulnerable to getting picked off. At the very least, they do have a whole bunch of disables, and of course, Morphling is hard to lock down. And it looks like they might even go for this. There's a stun from Chaos Knight. It's only 1 second, though. Not going to find any targets. You might say that was a huge waste of mana for CK, but obviously he's going to have Chakra in a few minutes anyway. To back him up, so they're going to have plenty of mana, plenty of aggression from this lineup. This could become quite scary for Moscow 5. We'll see if it pays off, though. Of course, this is one of the things with an offensive trialing. You need to make it work. If it fails pretty hard. They need to get some kills here, otherwise it's going to leave them underleveled and rather annoyed for the mid game. They need to shut down this guy, or it's a huge waste of resources. So that Morphling gets out of hand, they will have failed quite hard. At the same time, though, they do have a suicide. They do have a Clinks in the solo mid who should be farming pretty strong against Puck here. Although Puck actually getting the deny in there. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Batrider is going to have a very, very easy time against the Titan. There's not a lot Titan's going to be able to do against that, so it's going to be a very frustrating lane for him. First blood likely to come from either the top lane or the bottom. Both of these very aggressive, very dangerous lanes. We see here a counter ward being thrown down by the Dire side, actually blocking that pull. Now you might say, why are they blocking their own pull? Well, of course, the Radiant side can actually pull that themselves if they want to. Drag it out there and just basically counter pull against the Dire side. Radiant also throwing in a ward here. It doesn't look like it blocked, unless they threw it in there just a little bit too late. We'll see if it blocks after this. As a matter of fact, I think pretty sure that has managed to block because they haven't stacked that pull twice there. Okay, apparently having FPS issues now. Instead, wisely getting himself an early magic stick. Of course, Batrider who spams his sticky love everywhere. Not a bad idea to get that against it at all. Will give him a little bit of burst healing, but in all honesty, it won't save him. It's a little bit of help, but if you get caught with 5-6 stacks of sticky napalm on you and Batrider starts hitting with a Firefly, it's pretty much lights out at that point in time, regardless of how many charges you have on your stick. I'm still waiting for this lineup to open up though. I think we'll probably see a kill within the next couple of minutes. We surely must see a kill in the next couple of minutes from this lane. This has too much aggression and not to find a kill. They might not be able to get Morphling. Obviously, Morphling's a little bit too fast, but Solo is a very easy target for them to pick off. He gets hit by either stun from Fluff and Stuff or from Universe there. It is going to become very problematic for him to see that. It's already doing, like, that's a level 1 Illuminate. They didn't even stack any stuns or any extra nukes on him. We have a Foghorn there in the form of Wisp. Anyway, let's have a look at the farm-wise at the moment. Looks like Seto is holding his own against Painted Gold so far, sitting on 5 apiece. Korok in the mid, 6-0. And unfortunately, Puck actually also holding his own, 5-1, not doing too bad. He's actually going to be able to keep his CS up just with his nuke. Clinks won't really have too much response to that. As we see here, Morphling is actually morphing a little bit of extra agility, just to help him out the last hit front. I'm not dead sure where this is going actually. Then, okay, it looks like Wisp is tethering up just to try and help Keeper of the Light get a bit of mana back. And one of the things he can do, of course, is throw Chakra on Wisp once he tethers, just to help him get his own mana back. And there we go, they're pinging. Let's go have a look over here, but it looks like they've actually, I'm not sure where that pull went actually. This might have gone to the, actually that might have gone to the easy camp there. They had a look over here, and it looks like, oh no, they're asking for a 10-minute pause. What the hell? I think they mentioned something about having to draft for SL for Star Ladder or something earlier. We'll see though. Meanwhile though, Clink's in mid, gonna hold that as they get the first blood in bottom lane. Actually a double kill down there. Tidehunter managing to take out just ahead, I think. Yes, Tidehunter just managed to kill Batrider before the Firefly. And of course, one of the buffs to Firefly was the fact that it now persists after Batrider's death. And that did actually manage to kill the Tidehunter in the end. Now, unfortunately, Batrider diving a little bit too hard, and Tidehunter coming out on top just because he got that kill ahead. Not only does he get the first blood, but of course he picks up the experience on top of that. And that is going to slow down Bat just a little bit. We got Ice Path going through, just harassing with that there. So I see Puck has found himself a double damage rune, bottling that up. Meanwhile, Korok is a little low on mana, has had to spam that a little bit hard, as it looks like Batrider again just going to harass Seto just a little bit more. As I will make a mention to Sega Mega Drive, the rule of the no leg strategy is if they fly or don't use their legs do not count. That is Bruno's rules. You must listen to Bruno, he's the stat man, he knows these things. So you see Fluff and Stuff flanking around, but they're going to look for Fluff and Stuff getting shackled, also getting hit by the Liquid Fire. There we go, a kill for Moscow Fire, picking off the Wisp, nicely stacking all the disables on him. And this tri-lane for Quantic is not working at all. Not only are they not managing to shut down Morphling all that well, at the same time they are struggling themselves to make an impact or have any fun. Like I said, this is a strategy that has to succeed. If it doesn't succeed, it fails really, really hard. There is no middle ground. It either works or it goes horribly. And in this case, it is starting to get out of control, because once you start falling behind and you start feeding those enemy supports kills and experience, it becomes very, very difficult to catch up, because they become much harder to kill. I am just waiting for if anything's going to basically salvage his top lane, it's going to be Keeper of the Light spamming Illuminate and just harassing with Illuminate. Once he gets a couple levels in that, he may be able to influence this just a little bit more, but we will see. Meanwhile, in mid, it is 18-4 for Clinks. We see 18-4 as well for Puck. No, sorry, 19-2 for Puck, 20-2 for Puck. He is just racking up that CS nicely. Morphling diving away there, just making sure he doesn't get caught out. See Illuminate pushing that lane back though. Morphling currently sitting on 18-2. He's a little bit behind in terms of farm, but overall not falling behind that far. In fact, he's pretty much on par with Clink, so that's about all he needs to have happen to stay on par with the enemy carry. And they're pinging up top. I think they want to make something happen. They know this needs to happen, so Jakiro gets hit there by the Illuminate, but nothing else really coming from it. And there's that Chakra being used on the tethered Wisp to make sure Keeper gets the mana back at the same time. We haven't really seen Galaxy start spamming his spells at all. rather Universe, start spamming his stun at all. That's one of the things. If they're going to set up a kill here, basically the Dire supports, they're hanging back a long way, not really giving Universe a chance to pick them off. He wants to set them up with a he wants to set them up with a Reality Rift when he's tethered up. So I hear a charge coming through. There it is. Illuminate not hitting anything though, and mostly just nuking creep down. This is actually going to impact on Universe's ability to farm somewhat. Puck now trying to go toe to toe with Clinks. Clinks actually deciding to gun for Puck. 2 more hits, pops the magic wand. Keeps himself alive, just barely there. Korok not following him for the last hit there. Could have possibly taken him out, but decided to play it safe. Of course, diving under a tower against Puck, one of the slipperier heroes, is always a recipe for trouble. Meanwhile, it looks like Seto is indeed holding his own quite nicely against Batrider. 32-0 versus Batrider's 29-2, and both of them, of course, sitting on a killer piece. But we see the harass coming in now. He's taking a lot of damage there from those napalm stacks, and just some auto attack fire there. Invis picked up by Chaos Knight. Hopefully this can set up something from it. There is a port coming top. Tidehunter has decided to port top. He has Ravage as well. This is not good for Quantic at all. Quantic now harassing. They are going to take up Nexus. They succeed. They pick off Nexus, but they're likely to lose 3 or 2 heroes in return. Here comes Seto. There's the Ravage. Sets it up. Doesn't hit Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight will get away, but a double kill up there on Wisp, as well as the Keeper of the Light. Morphling buys back. I don't think he got in range, though, for the experience. This is still looking to be quite problematic for Quantic, as Universe call out, when do you need to pause? And Batrider has decided to go with the Tranquil Boots. This is fairly stock standard stuff for Bat. He's a very aggressive hero, and of course the speed is nice for mobility, but at the same time, also the fact he gets stuck in, gets in a lot of ganks, having the free salves around is always nice. See Korok currently sitting on 30 and 6. I'm just going to quickly check the farm. It's nearly 1k gold advantage to the Dire side. More important though, experience at this point in time. Only a 500 experience lead to the Dire side, so not a big deal there. Hypnotoad has learned to fly.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
The bottom tower now being pressed by Painted Gold. However, Tidehunter will be back in time to defend it. Might take a little bit of damage, but overall it'll be fine. It looks like a gank on top. Has Korok found anything useful? He has not managed to farm up any parts of his Orchid just yet. It looks like he's going to pick up his Treads before he decides to go with that. Probably looking at about maybe an 18-16 minute Orchid at the moment. Last now trying to set up a Illuminate, fires it through, doing a lot of damage there to Nexus. There's a Reality Rift, along with a Tether Stun, gets a nice path down. Do they have Ravage? No, they do not. Morphling falling very low, Morphing strength though, he should be okay. Chaos Knight falls, and it looks like Clinks is likely to die. He gets cleaned up as well. There was a dust, an Illuminate flies through, barely missing Morphling. Wisp dives out of the fight with a Tether. And this is an unfortunate, again, Quantic struggling to make this work for themselves. Moscow 5 counter-attacking. This is one of the dangers of pushing up there like that, doing these ganks, diving behind towers. Is the teleport counter ganks are extremely dangerous. And that one, and you saw that one, it went down, and Tidehunter this time didn't even have Ravage off cooldown. Solo being harassed here by Chaos, not going to drive him back into the jungle. Maybe Wisp will shop. If Wisp can show, he can't. He's only level 4 at the moment. Never mind. As Solo now still being harassed further and further and further, Chaos Knight decides, I'm out of mana, decides not to dive, which is, of course, not a smart decision. Against Shadow Shaman, of course, can just shackle and hex you under the tower. And at this level, that's going to go poorly. Batrider now has rotated to mid, continuing to farm that. Batrider sitting on 49 and 3 now. If anything's going to salvage this during the mid game, it's going to be on Painted Gold's back as well as Clinks. It's going to be these two heroes. They need to make this comeback here. Of course, Batrider, once he gets his Blink Dagger, he becomes a huge threat. And Clinks, once he gets his Orchid, again, he is also a massive threat. See the damage it's doing to Puck there. 2 hits, and that's nearly a third of Puck's health. Once you throw in an Orchid on a hero like that, it's very easy to tear them to shreds. But as it is, it looks like the mid-game, and basically the chances of salvaging this match is going to be on these two players' heads. They need to basically say, they kind of need to say to the Triad, alright guys, get in our backpack, we'll carry you. We'll make this happen. Because right now we've got a severely underfarmed Wisp. Keeper of the Light has next to nothing as well. Although he should be able to catch up just a little bit, because he'll be able to jump into the jungle, farm a bit with Illuminate. That'll help him out a bit, but Wisp is going to be struggling. Chaos Knight is going to be struggling in the mid-game as well to have too much of an impact. As you can see, he's 21 and 4 at 10 minutes in. That's not a good sign for him. Not to mention, he's also very, very underleveled as well. As Tidehunter picks up a kill again, and there's an Illuminate through there. Klink's getting picked off in the mid lane.
You're dead.
And that is a good response from Moscow 5. They do need to keep these Klinks under control. If they can keep Klinks under control, it's going to make sure Morphling has plenty of time to get out of control. See, the Morphling has gone for his Basilius. I'm just wondering if he'll go for the shotgun route, if he'll try for something a bit more right-clicky. He may actually go for the shotgun. He may actually go for the right-click route, just because the shotgun build did get slightly nerfed in the fact that you can't use spells and items while you're in mid-waveform, which is something they would do. They would waveform towards the target, and then just before they'd hit them, they'd slam them with the Ethereal Blade. It just made the combo considerably quicker, as well as the fact you could get the extra damage for the waveform in as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
See the ports down in the bottom lane here. Chaos Knight will need some backup if they're going to try and take this on. Klink's now going to be in there. Do they have counter ward set up? Doesn't look like it. I am looking for gems. It doesn't appear to be any counter in Viz Tech at the moment, although Puck, of course, is scouting things out. And he does have Dream Call up in 10 seconds. There's plenty of time. His Invis will still be available. The ping's up top, though. It looks like Chaos Knight might want to go up there. They do, or he does have a teleport if necessary. Not sure which lane to watch here. Stallion is, again, scouting behind this tower. I think he's hoping someone will pop out and try and defend this, and then he will attempt to jump them. We go Klink's windwalking his way in. Looks like Tyner is actually going to dive in behind the tower and check things out. Doesn't quite see Universe there. And it looks like this tower is in considerable trouble. Will we see ports on top, or will they just sacrifice? It looks like they're going to sacrifice it. The ports are going top. They're going for a counter push here. Sacrificing counter push. Unfortunately, Pain is gold. He's got Firefly on cooldown now. This could be problematic to try and catch Morphling. I like the fact he did Firefly. He was mostly get the flying vision over here to check if Morphling was hiding in those trees there. Not a bad idea at all. The bottom tower has been knocked out. Will the counter ports come up top, or will they decide to keep pushing bottom? Moscow 5, it's up there, up to them. Seeing Illuminate being shot through there. Blink, the Batrider gets the lasso down, drags him into Illuminate, having more Blink. Too tough at the moment. There's a triple coil. Illusory Orb going through. Batrider taking critical damage. There's a Flame Break as well. We've got Ravage up. Can they find a target? Illuminate goes flying through there, catches a lot of heroes. Batrider ducking into the trees and then blinks away, I believe. He's flying up the top edge of the map there.
Dire's middle tower is under
He should be able to escape, and now Nexus is pausing. It looks like they are going to call in that pause that they've basically said they needed to have happen. I will just try. Alright, they've got to pause for the Starladder Groups draft, so they'll be back in about 10 minutes, I think. Oh, hey, wait a minute. No, this is actually Quantic pausing. Never mind. That would have been Moscow 5 had to pause for the Starladder Group drafting. I think they're having frame rate issues. Universe was having frame rate issues. The bottom lane, Korok. Still not even one part of his Orchid just yet. Yeah, there we go. Universe is DC'd. He is having frame rate issues. Did make mention of that. Apparently his PC is lagging. Okay, you see Wisp there. Probably in mid-tether at the moment on Chaos Knight. Oh yeah, there he is. He's tethered to CK. They managed to pick off the Shadow Shaman, or actually, somebody managed to pick off Shadow Shaman in the bottom lane. I think Klink's killed him while nobody was watching. Counterports in. I believe they probably ported top and they were picked off as everybody else left. But I've got to say, Quantic are very lucky to get out of this so far without any casualties. We're looking for Batrider. Ooh, still 14 seconds on his blink. His Firefly is about to run out too. I'm not sure if he runs out of Firefly, whether or not he'll pop down. Whether or not he'll pop down here somewhere in the trees. If he does, he's going to be in serious trouble just because, of course, Puck is there, so is Tidehunter. I actually don't know if they can get vision to him while he's sort of up on top of the edge of the map, like whether or not he counts as being on high ground or if he's in unpathable terrain or something. In fact, it doesn't look like they can see him according to the dire vision at the moment. We'll see, we'll find out. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it looks like they can't see the Batrider. In fact, oh wait, he went all the way back over here. There's no chance of seeing him, and as long as Puck doesn't try and scout him out, he'll be just fine. I've got to say though, Quantic's so lucky to come out of that without a death. It's mostly because Tidehunter couldn't find the position for his Ravage. If he managed to pick up that Ravage, that would have been a huge number of casualties. As it is, he's still got it. In fact, Solo's up here as well. I hear Wisp teleporting though. They're going on mid. Looks like they're trying to set up a kill on Jakiro. A 3-second stun there. There's the Wisp orbs as well, doing serious damage. Jakiro is down. Meanwhile though, the wards get tossed up onto the top tower. It looks like we don't have any reinforcements here to try and pick this off, unless Chaos Knight and Wisp will be back here in a second. Batrider teleports on back to base. And we're just going to have the Illuminate to counter push. Of course, Illuminate's so good for this counter push potential. Now, Puck coming to mid, though, has got a haste room. Will he decide to dive? Universe decides not to. CK will be left to his own devices there. Let's check Jakiro's build as well. Now, Jakiro is maxing out the Ice Path. I think it's mostly just for the cooldown reduction as well as the duration increase. Becomes extremely powerful. Not really too worried about the DPS aspect from the extra damage from dual fire as it's static. He's mostly just there for the CC. And if they need to land some damage, of course, they've got Macropire, which that Macropire there, you see that adds a huge amount of DPS there. Especially when you've got spells like Ravage, as well as you've got the lockdown there from Shadow Shaman, and of course Dream Coil from Puck. They can cause serious, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. When Puck lands a Dream Coil, we'll follow up with the Macropire right through the middle of that with Jakiro, and basically force heroes to move, get out of the way. And basically they can stand still and sit in Macropyre, or they can move and then get stunned by Dream Coil. It's a very annoying position to be stuck in. And of course they can follow up with Ravage once to lock them down in the Macropyre. Of course it does do serious amounts of damage. Nexus though, looks like they are trying to sniff out a gank on him. Batrider is looking for trouble though. It looks like he's just going to settle for creep at the moment. Titan to grab himself a port as it looks like they are going to jump in on him. Deny comes in though. They manage to get the 9. The silence is on Universe though. The Ravage gets popped as well. They pick up a double kill there. Keeper of the Light as well as Chaos Knight getting dragged down. Fortunately, the mobility right now from Puck was too much for them to set up a nice Dream Coil. They did manage to sneak in the 9. At the same time, 2 hero kills is also a decent trade for that. Not so much in terms of gold, like getting gold, but the main thing it did there was pretty much pick up a lot of experience, plus put Chaos Knight, as well as Keeper of the Light, further and further behind. In fact, Keeper of the Light hasn't even managed... We won't be seeing any of this global stuff for him just yet. He'll probably save that towards the late game when they start splitting up and trying to split push and cause trouble all around the map. See Puck moving in there with Puck. He gets blinked on by Batrider, drags him back through the fire. The sticky napalm as well. Flame break on top of that. Silence for Puck is too slow. Wisp getting off his orbs, and he causes a serious amount of damage with those orbs when he impacts on them. It is a maxed out series of orbs. Close range, they take down a hero very, very quickly. Counter push on mid though by Quantic. Looks like the defense though is coming. Moscow 5 moving in to defend this mid tower. Seto now charging in there with a gush. Willie set up no Ravage. He does have a mech. Flame break knocking him onto the low ground there. Wards get thrown in by Shadow Shaman. Now they're trying to pick off Galaxy. Galaxy though going to turn around, change his mind there. The Illuminate comes through. There's the mech being popped by the Titan. It looks like Universe still really low. Gets hit by the Ice Path. Gets taken a Macropyre as well. Batrider gets burned down. And we've got the Dream Coil on the Creeper of the Light. He does get cleaned up. An Illusory Orb as well. Fluff and stuff, too slow to help out, has to back up. Meanwhile, Klink's busy trying to counter push top. Nexus now going to chase him off. And Nexus appears to be going for, that could be an early Manta, or it could be an early Linken's. If it was going to be Linken's, I think he would have picked up the Perseverance first, so I'm going to say that's likely to be a Manta style at this point in time. See the Wisp having to back off. Wisp very poor at the moment, has managed to pick up an urn. But what they really want, I think, here is a mech. They really need that burst heal. As you saw during that fight, the mech from the Dire side made them so difficult to get rid of. In fact, Titan appears to be building Blade Mail. That's the only reason I can think of him grabbing that broadsword there for. Secure for the Light has also picked up Tranquil Boots. Chaos Knight trying to farm himself some drums, not really making much progress at the moment. Just going to check the gold chart. It is a 5k gold lead to the Dire side, to Moscow 5. Also a 4k experience lead. That's going to be quite painful, especially when you've got heroes that want to be all around the map and ganking. 5 to 13 currently. Moscow 5's favour in terms of kills. Now the defense is being mustered for the Radiant side on the top tower. Korok is scouting things out. He has managed to pick up his first Oblivion Staff, but he's definitely a very, very late Oblivion Staff. Illuminate only hitting solo. Now, Wisp as well as Chaos Knight, they can show up at a moment's notice. They might decide to gun for this. I think they may decide to try and defend this tower. Ravage is up. It is a level 2 Ravage ready to go. And Tidehunter has a gem now. This miss very problematic for Clinks. Flame Break getting tossed through there. The wards have also been dropped. They are charging down. And I think they see Clinks. Clinks is about to get the short end of the stick here. Gets Hex. Gets Gushed. Here's an Ice Path. A Macropire. They want Clinks dead and they make it happen. Bit of overkill, you could say. At the same time, it works out. And they've got the 2 main spells still ready for the fight. They need the Ravage is still there. The wards are also still available. The Macropire was honestly a bit of overkill, but in the end, they pick off Clinks. And here we go. Next is saying this pause is 7 minutes. They need to pause for this SL, for the Star Ladder drafts, I believe. So guys, if you want to break, get a snack, go to the toilet, sell the stuff, go now, because we will have about 5 to 10 minutes of pause time. Okay, so, you know, we've got a bit of break time. If you want to ask questions, stuff like that, feel free, go ahead in the chat. I will be sitting here responding to them. Universe, once again, just trying to fix his frame rate issues. But other than that, I'd turn on some music, but we need to turn this into a VOD. And obviously, I can't upload a VOD to YouTube without then YouTube sort of getting on our ass about copyright music and stuff like that. So, sadly, we will have to sit in silence for now. And I don't have any smack to talk about for 10 minutes straight, so I don't know. I'll be in the chat anyway, so if you're bored, want to talk about something, I'll be there. Ask about stupid shit, whatever you feel like. I remember the last time I did this for, I think it was, what was it, Gigabyte Dota Masters, and we had like a 30-minute pause mid-match. I just went and found a whole bunch of lolcats, put them all over the screen, because, I mean, why the hell not? Shawnyfield, keep in mind, recently Quantic have had a roster shuffle. They are missing 2 regular players who have gone off to join. I believe they're in LGD International now or something. Basically, they have 2 new players, so they are not going to be at 100%. In fact, they're probably not playing anywhere close to their full potential right now. Naturally, they need to get together, sort of get gelled and stuff like that. A roster shake-up is always relatively bad news for a team. GJ3, I also miss casting with gods. The feeling is mutual. The question is whether or not Gods misses casting with me. I don't know. As far as we know, Arkaros Complexity are taking a break / disbanding. That's all I know. Of course, Meet Your Makers replacing them in the Premier League Season 3. While we're waiting, I might as well just plug the website and that. Now, if you want to get any information, of course, you can see mine replacing Cole right there. If you want to get any information, of course, upcoming matches, results, stuff like that, it's all available on our website, thepremierleague.eu. Also, while you're there, you can check out our YouTube channel. It's right there on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, sorry, I get my sides mixed up. And you can see all of our social media on the right-hand side in that blue bar. And, of course, our Facebook. Having numbers on Facebook helps us out, so please follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook. It helps out quite a lot. And the same goes for the Twitch channel right here. If you have not, please hit that follow button. It helps us out quite a lot when it comes to basically getting support for this league. Yes, Roosevelt, you could go and smoke indeed. So shout out to Kral and Carlicott who are in the chat there. GJ3, I have no idea. I have no idea when the next time I'll be casting with gods, if at all, if ever. I think it mostly comes down to him. He wants to cast with me. I'm always up for casting with gods. Dude's awesome. Why are we pausing? Because currently Moscow Fire are in Kiev for the Star Ladder Finals, I believe, and they have to go and draft for that. It's going to take about 5-10 minutes, that's why we're pausing. Vilat is busy streaming the group draws / group drafting. I think Lord Blackjack is linking it there in the chat. You can go look at that. I'm not Purge, Ranger Muffin. What build do you think that is just sickening? Just sickening. Oh, the shotgun build is pretty gross on Morphling, I'm going to say that. Double refreshes on a couple of heroes that have big ults like Tide Hunter. If you get to the late game, say you have a Tide Hunter tree on the team, and you start throwing out refresher ults, that gets pretty disgusting pretty quickly. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Shadow Blade on a lot of heroes, just because I think it's bloody hilarious. And also, yeah, the tiny whisk combo is also quite disgusting if you back that up with something like a Chen as well. That is really, really gross. No clue who Medusa is. Medusa! Oh boy. I am interested to see how she really impacts this metagame. Of course, I think it was... Who was it we had on last? Who do we have interviewed last? Person I interviewed last was somebody from Premier League. Which game did I cast last? I believe it was somebody from Meet Your Makers. No, wait a minute. Let's get 5 versus Shakira. That's right, Shakira had a walkover. That's right, no, it was from Fnatic. I forget who it was from Fnatic, but they said, watch out for Medusa. When she shows up, she is likely to shake up the scene, just because she's quite strong. And she has pretty damn good early teamfight potential as well. Why is the game so grey? Because we're paused. The game greys out when we're paused. Do you still talk to gods? Yes, I still talk to gods. In fact, he told me he has a blow-up TT Esports sword that he still owes me. He got that from back in the when we were casting GDM. He got a big blow-up sword for me from the guys at TT Esports while he was casting from the office. He told me he still has that. He needs to give it to me. Why is Complexity out? Because they don't have a team anymore currently. Move the camera away from the waterfall. Okay, fair enough. This waterfall is driving people nuts. We'll stay away from it then. Triumph forever alone. Yes, often alone. Story of my life. Yes, Argon's Refresher Darkseer Felidor is also pretty insane. Get a good vacuum through that and the things get pretty nuts pretty damn quickly. Fresher Invoker, why not? Why not? I think Calicott would whore himself out anywhere and everywhere he can. And still nothing new here in terms of items. Already seen most of them. Let's have a look. How much money is Puck got? Is he going for an early... Actually, Puck looks like he's going for an early Blink Dagger. Just try and stay away from the waterfall for the poor viewers who it's driving nuts. But yeah, Puck, 2.2k in the bank. That does look like a Blink Dagger's coming. Of course, Blink Dagger, once Puck gets that Blink Dagger, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, the Muhammad Ali, he is so slippery. He's more troublesome to catch than a Morphling. I kid you not, in the hands of the right player, once Puck gets a Blink Dagger, he is so hard to kill. You throw in a Yules, and he is just, you never touch the guy again. He's just impossible to tam or kill, unless you open up with something like a Roar, and then never let him touch the keyboard again. As soon as he gets his spell off, he's just gone, just absolutely gone. Because once he gets that Blink Dagger, basically all he has to do is hit Phase Shift, and as long as he's got Blink Dagger off cooldown, he's out of there. There's nothing you can do to catch the guy. It also allows him to play, get really aggressive, just blink in, Dream Coil, phase shift, throw the illusory orb while he phase shift, and just blink in, blink out basically. It's very difficult to shut down a Puck once he gets that Blink Dagger, so I would not be surprised if we see it in a few seconds. But as it is, as you can see, obviously Painted Gold has got his core item, which is the Blink Dagger. He needs to bulk up a little bit at this point in time. Something like a BKB really wouldn't hurt him, because right now when he walks into these fights, he just gets hit by CC. There's not much he can do to blink in and cause trouble. He needs that BKB before he can really become quite problematic for them again. In fact, you could argue BKBs are quite necessary all round for Quantic's lineup to counter Moscow 5s. I am somewhat surprised that Sedoy is actually really looks like he's building Blade Mail. I'm definitely somewhat surprised, seeing as well, there's not that much there's not a huge amounts of AoE that he could walk into and stuff. Like, there's a couple of single target stuff. Of course, Clinks has a lot of single target firepower. There's an Illuminate, but it's not a big deal. I suppose maybe he's hoping he can burn Batrider to death with his own Firefly, but in all honesty, the Blade Mail is slightly questionable. Normally we would see Tidehunter then immediately go from the mech to a pipe and just grab that free scene as well, especially since nobody else is building one. If somebody else like Jakiro has had it cash in the bank for a pipe, or if Puck was building one, or if like anybody else was building one, then yeah, we could see Setoi going for the Blade Mail, but this is definitely a little bit different. He might just be getting the Blade Mail because it's cheap armor. That is my other explanation. It's cheap armor against a mostly physical lineup. Of course, you've got all the physical damage from Clinks, all the physical damage from Chaos Knight, so that's my other explanation, but if it's just for cheap armor, he's already got the cheap armor from the mech as well. But, you know, I'm grasping for straws out. Honestly, I really thought it would have been a pipe just to help out. It helps out against the Illuminate, helps out against all the extra magic damage there from the Firefly, stuff like that, but I don't know. I guess this decided there's not enough to really warrant it. Overall, it's nice. Like, even an extra 400 EHB, like against one Illuminate for a hero like Shadow Shaman, it's just all around really, really nice for them. Triumph, thoughts on LGD International? Well, Facebooks, as it comes down to it, it's more about chemistry than anything else. I've seen big names, big superstar teams come together, look awesome. I mean, the old Virtus Pro lineup was meant to be like this whole new, super scary superstar team, and then it just fell to shit. No, nothing went right for them. They just fell apart, didn't gel, didn't mesh. In all honesty, I would rather see them. I'm going to reserve judgment until I see them play, you know, a good 20, 30 games and sort of judge how well they're getting along. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. How many female gamers have asked you out? Let me see. None. Easy. Very easy. Absolutely none. And in fact, it's the same answer as how many women have ever asked you out? Exactly none. In fact, the last girl that asked me... Oh, God. The last girl that asked me out, this was going back years and years ago, and she actually ended up dying in a fire, I kid you not. Yeah, kind of gross stuff. That was a long time ago, like I'm not even joking. Vilat when drunk. I don't know. I never met Vilat when drunk. Does it mean I can't see Brax feeding in pubs anymore? I don't know, you'd have to ask Brax that question. MG Croupers, I wish my sister would stop beating me. Alright, looks like we're good to go, so let's get rolling.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Alright, so top tower has been dropped, fairly easy, not too surprising. Full creep wave up there beating on plus 7 wards. It was going to happen. Meanwhile, Chaos Knight's trying to farm bottom. Not going to happen now that Nexus is going to chase him off here. And Nexus is sitting on some money indeed. Still remains to be seen whether or not he's going for a Mantis Assault with just a right click DPS, or if he's planning to pick up the Orchid just to help defend him, which, you know, the Lincoln Sphere, just because to defend against A, the Orchid, and B, more important, Batrider. Batrider just jumps in and causes hell. Blink Lasso, very, very, very effective. See Jakiro just body blocking creep there. They have spotted something up here of interest. I see pinging. Or not, never mind, they're pinging bottom now. As Puck finds himself a Blink Dagger plus a regen rune. Clinks has picked up his first, still owning that first Oblivion Staff, not doing too well at all. In this case, things are starting to get out of hand. We've got a 5.5k advantage there in terms of gold. Experience still sitting on a flat 5k. That's definitely going to be problematic. That said, the saving grace right now is the fact that Lust is just busy spamming Illuminate for all he is worth. Just helping to hold off this push, and I think he's just hoping to buy some time for Korok to get his items done. That said, Morphling is still a ticking time bomb, and it will be a Lincoln Sphere. He has picked up Perseverance, and now he's sitting about 1,200 gold away from finishing that Lincoln Sphere or so. Blink out, and a teleport away from Panic Gold, barely escaping there. Puck could have given chase, but decided not to. See the ports on top though. Clinks is just going to try and drill down this tower. Will he manage it? He's going to... No! They glyph it up, and now Korok is shackled next to a tower. Hexed as well. Ward trapped on top of the Ice Path. He's tied under with a gem, and there's no escape. A Macro Pie to boot, and they get the deny. Oh, Moscow Fire trolling Korok to no end. I mean, it was worth gunning for, but in the end, he was literally seconds too late. It was all it took, and then Universe, reality rifting the wrong target there, Morphling with an illusion, tricking him. And it was indeed a blade mail, there we go. Is a blade. I get the feeling it's just cheap armor. I'm pretty sure that that's what he was aiming for with that blade mail, just wanted cheap armor, because there's not really a whole lot to defend himself from. In terms of, like, there's not really a whole lot for blade mail to walk into and cause huge amounts of damage with. Nor is there any crazy single DPS target hero, such as, you know, it's the kind of thing you can buy when you see like an Earthshaker or an Ursa-Ranger with crits or something like that. You just pop for your blade mail and hope he crits himself in the face. That's kind of effective as well, but in this case he doesn't really have any targets to be active. So it does appear to be just for armor's sake. Tired now, just going to go and tank this for his team. They are going to get a fairly easy Roshan off, and in all honesty, there's not much that Quantic can do about it at this point in time. Galaxy has Universe has managed to finish off his drums. Really, I think at this point in time he needs a BKB ASAP. Right now the lockdown on Moscow 5's lineup is going to become quite problematic, although it is all, none of it is superior magic, so if he gets a BKB he will at least be able to run right through the lines and also not get slammed by a lot of nukes. That will help out things quite a bit, if he can get that though. Looks like he's saving money though. We'll see what he goes for. He might just be trying to get a fast mantra or something. When I say fast mantra, I mean a relatively slow mana, but he's going to try and pick it up as his first major item. See the teleport out, he is going to go back to Ace, realises he is outnumbered and outgunned here. Morphling has pretty much got enough for his Lincoln Sphere. Here another Illuminate being charged up. It looks like he's going to try and drag him back into it. There it is. There's the drag. Can he get him within range? It does manage to hit him. A stun there from Chaos Knight. Well, 2 seconds. It might not be enough. No, the Flame Break will bring him down. However, he does have the Aegis. At the very least, they have sniped the Aegis. It is a small victory. See, Batrider is working on that BKB. Has picked up his Ogre Club. Same for Chaos Knight. Has also picked up his Ogre Club. So they're getting closer, but it may be too little too late. Let me just check on Korok at the moment. Speaking of which, he has spent up on something. I think he's got a second Orchid coming out. Oh, actually, he's got a second Oblivion Star plus the Orchid recipe, so he has managed to finish that up. This may help them out quite a bit. Now, 23 minutes in, 24 minutes in, the Orchid is a little bit late, but at the same time, it could be a lot worse. At the very least, they've got the Blink now. If they can just get that gem off the Tide Hunter, maybe they'll have a shot at this. Now, Puck moving in. He's got another 1,300 gold in the bank. Question is, what will he go for next? Will he go for a Hex, or will he try and pick up something like a Yules? Now, Puck is invisible here, so they can't tell that he's here. In fact, he's just going to walk into the tether. That may have clued them up. He should have played the sound effect for him. And Puck now throwing down the Dream Coil just on fluff and stuff. Batrider now dragging Jakiro off to his doom. Puck manages to pick off the Wisp there, as now they're going to try and beat up on Jakiro. Jakiro, stuck in the trees, has been hit by a 4-second stun, although Batrider out of mana, outgunned. No way he's getting away from this. Ice Blast will lock him down. And that's 2 down for Quantic. Again, just getting sniped off there, not managing to focus fire. And honestly, Wisp just being left, they probably should have helped Wisp out and tried to lock down Puck, rather than just gunning for Jakiro, who is actually relatively tanky for a support era. As you can see there, he's quite tanky. For 24 minutes in, and you know, an intelligent hero, he's got a good 1100 health. He's also got a 4-star. Compare that to someone like Wisp, who's only got 800, 900 health or so. See, Shadow Shaman is also BKBing up. Normally, when we see these support Shamans, they just go straight for, they go screw it, and just go straight for a Blink Dagger. In this case, Shadow Shaman has actually gone for both a Bracer as well as an Ogre Club. He's really trying to bulk up. He wants to be able to wander around the middle of the fight. Lujor getting thrown out there. Looks like they will just have to sacrifice the tower. Ward's being expended as well, possibly a little bit too early. A little bit of an overreaction. Could have saved it. And just pushed normally and then decided to pop him later.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Korok is scouting out the enemy jungle. Needs to be careful though, of course. The enemy do pack a gem. Titan is still carrying his. So this, what Korok is doing right now is very risky. Could bump into him at any time. I think he just, although that said, I think he knows that they're top. As somewhat questionable wards get thrown down together like that. Oh, and he is actually going to snipe the courier. A nice little win there for him and teleport out. Gets the courier. There's 175 gold for each of his teammates. But small victories, must take them where he can find them. 2100 gold for Titan. May we see a Blink Dagger here. That would be perfect initiation for his team. I'm very much hoping that we see a Blink Dagger. Sedoi just doing a bit of counter warding. Removing map control. This is going to force Quantic to play very defensively. Lincoln's done and dusted on the Morphling. Another 1100 gold in the bank, still taking his time with it. Moscow 5 are quite happy to play this one slow. They know they have a huge advantage in the form of Morphling. That said though, because he's gone straight for a defensive item, this means Clinks and Morphling, as you can see, they're pretty much on par in terms of damage. This could be a slight problem for Moscow 5, and I honestly think this is why, like, a lot of the like you see the Chinese teams, they just don't even bother Link. They just go, you know what? It's down to our teammates with their CC to defend Morphling. As we see, kill in mid. They pick him off as well. No, they just go for the park. They leave the Tide Hunter in the end. He's a little bit too tanky for them to take down. But I really do think this is why a lot of teams have abandoned the Lincoln Spear on the Morphling, just because it's very expensive and doesn't give that much. Because you see Clinks now that he's on par, actually ahead in terms of damage. With Death Pact, Strafe, as well as Searing Arrows, he's very, very dangerous now. Universe about to get picked off here. Can they help him out? There goes a Flame Break. The Shackle, though. There comes an Ice Path as well to lock them down. Universe about to fall. Reality Rip, Macropar in the middle of all that. Wisp is another casualty. And there is a double kill for Nexus. That's probably about the last thing that wanted to happen. Morphling now on 2k gold.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Finally, Clinks actually gets the top tower rather than watching it get denied underneath him this time around. He will need to back up though. There are enemies inbound. Batrider also scouting a few of them out. Has to retreat on top of that. Batrider though, getting closer to his BKB. Has 1900 gold in the bank. I think he's possibly. I think at this point in time they're not going to spend up their cash straight away. They need to save for buybacks as well. So we see Chaos Knight has also got his Mithril Hammer. Only about 600 gold away from his BKB. Korok playing it fast and loose, playing it very, very dangerous. Again, that gem, it's gotten him picked off before. He needs to be really careful about this. Looks like he's going to find a free kill on the former Solo. There's no way Solo's getting out of this. Finds a kill and then legs it. I think somebody's motioning that there are incoming enemies through there. I think they must know that there's something up there. Or not. Possibly trying to bait with Nexus now. You see Tyner just skulking about behind. That said, he's completely visible thanks to that ward up on the ridge. Fluff and stuff. Also building a BKB by the looks of things. In fact, everybody building a BKB. If they can all get BKBs, they will be very much, they'll be pretty much immune to everything that the Dire can throw at them. There we go, they figured out that there was indeed a ward up there. And here we go, Morphling building his Mantis style right now. As you see the Ultimate Orb as well as parts of the Yasha are being collected. Morphling going, you know what, I don't need to save for buybacks. Keeper of the Light doing what he can to hold this off. Keeper has picked up his mech as well.
Radiant structures are fortified.
How is Chaos Knight doing? Chaos Knight also having finished up his BKB. This will help out a lot. Unfortunately for the Radiant side, those wards, Magic Immune are just going to beat down on the tower. Not that they even really needed the wards. As a Dire's Courier gets picked off for a second time in a row, Korok being a gigantic jerk. He's got to run for it. He's got to leg it, though. The gush goes down. They can see him now. Illusory Orb as well. Korok needs to dodge. He will manage to sidestep that and continues to flee for all his worth. Still trying to get the hell out. As he's now being recalled by Keeper of the Light. Smart play there. Batrider also needs to leg it. Korok is really being a jerk this game. It's twice he's picked off the courier. And there's not much they can do. It's not like Moscow 5 are playing it wrong with the courier. It's just twice in a row, Korok has happened to be standing around where the courier's gone past. Does Flame Break trigger Lincolns? I don't think so, if memory serves me correctly. I could be wrong though. Tidehunter has... Oh, I'm going to say now, here the fun, any fun that Quantic has been having is about to stop, and it's going to come down to Tidehunter. With Blink and Ravage, this is bad news for them. Now they've got the setup. They do at least have some BKB, so they might be fast enough on the fingers to trigger them in time. But if Universe gets locked down by that BKB, gets locked down by that Ravage before he can BKB. Same for Clinks. If they get locked down before they can BKB up, they're going to be in some serious trouble. In fact, Clinks is buying an odd assortment of items. Has picked up a Crystallis as well as a hammer. I really thought he'd just BKB it up now. I'm kind of shocked to see the Crystallis in the middle of this. Painted Gold still farming away up there. Batrider does have his BKB done as well. And this is kind of bad news for Moscow 5. Just because, like I said, that Lincolns has really delayed the Morphling. Despite his huge farm, it has somewhat delayed his damage output. You see, he's only swinging for about 150 a swing. Compare that to Clinks. Clinks swinging for 250 plus. Plus has a huge attack speed boost and crits to boot. That is actually really quite scary. If they can't lock down Clinks in the middle of a fight, he's going to tear it up. Just pour out a massive amount of DPS. And he could quite easily pick up heroes like Puck, Jakiro, Rasta before they can get their stuff done. So it's going to come down. It's basically going to come down to how much firepower can Chaos Knight and Wisp distract. How safe can they keep Clinks? If they can keep Clinks safe, he should be okay to set up a huge amount of DPS. If they can't and Clinks gets locked down and eliminated early, then Moscow 5 have got this in the bag. But we'll see. We will see. If anything though, they have got the BKB done on Chaos Knight, as well as the fact that Clinks is getting close to his. The recipe's done, he's got the Mithril Hammer, he's just 600 gold away. If Moscow 5 don't make something happen soon, it's going to buy time for Clinks to be effective. And they may even throw this away. It's quite possible. The deficit is only 4k at this point in time. You see the die, it was 10k in gold before, it has been dropped quite sharply. Experience-wise, we're also dropping back quite sharply. Clink's getting very close, 200 away from BKB, and once they get those BKBs up and running, they're going to make stuff happen. Morphling though, Manta Style is done. Can he get another item out? You might even go for Butterfly next. This may force Clinks to go. I honestly not too sure about the Crystallis. It is a very cheap form of a very cheap, cost-effective form of a DPS increase, but at the same time, he may have wanted to start putting money towards a Monkey King bar. If Morphling goes straight for a Butterfly now, he is going to regret not having that Monkey King bar. That said, Morphling could quite easily go for the shotgun as well. We'll see. Raised, that Blade Mail would shred Clinks, however. That's only going to shred Clinks if Clinks is stupid enough to basically target fire Tidehunter. In all honesty, he's probably going to go after Jakiro, Morphling, and or Puck as well. There's the Ravager going to counter attack, however. It looks like they haven't picked anybody off. There's the BKB being popped, as well as the Blade Mail. Tidehunter being focus fired by Clinks. And like I said, he was going to have to be silly enough to actually target fire that hero, but as it is, he's healing up very rapidly. The Ice Path, Korok likely to fall. Korok does go down! And now Batrider also likely to get cleaned up there, and like I said, he had to actually focus. I think Clinks may not have meant to do that. I cannot fathom why he actually target fired the Tidehunter when he knew he had Blade Mail. There were so many other targets, I do not know why they actually target fire. Like, what he could have done is just silence Tidehunter with the Orchid and then basically beat on Morphling, beat on Jakiro, beat on anybody else, but not actually target fire the Tidehunter and get slammed there by those crits. But as it is, they do get cleaned up and they don't have buybacks at the moment, so it looks like they are going to pay the price here. Chaos Knight did actually pick up Sand in the middle of that. Looks like he was possibly going for a Heaven's Halberd. 20, 30 seconds. This looks like an easy Rax here for Moscow 5, but we've got to remember, it's not game over yet. This is only game 1 of best of 3 series. Also, they will only be a single Rax down. That is definitely not game over yet by any means. And they may actually buy enough time here that we already have the, or maybe not, they are just going to keep firing at those Illuminates. However, they are beating on this Rax. They are running out of time, so heroes need to engage here to try and hold this off. Another Illuminate going to come through. That Rax is taking serious damage though. It looks like it will fall. It does indeed get cleaned up. And now the disengagement from Moscow 5. Can we see some pickoffs here? There's the Chakra, the mana leak there on Seto. Seto losing mana quite rapidly. Blinks away. Illusory being sent in to cover him. And it looks like Tidehunter will manage to escape here. Although a 4-star forward by Lust blinds them. They will actually not. Blinks forward. Catches Seto. They are going to pick off Tidehunter. Poor old Tide gets cleaned up there. I don't know if they can set up a counter push. Well, they've got, actually, they have time for a counter push. Ravage is down, Serpent Waters are up though. But Tyner is gone for the next 50 seconds, so maybe they can set something up here. All of the Radiant heroes are up. You see Wisp teleporting back to the mid there. And we're actually looking for a gank now. Puck firing for the Illusion Orb, still 30 seconds on the Tidehunter. I don't think they'll manage to get a Rax here, although Clinks is doing some serious damage to that Tower Flame. Gets tossed out there. Clinks still with strafe up. It's about to wear off though, it will wear off, but of course Searing Arrow is doing a serious amount of damage there to that tower. The blink in by Solo sets down the wards. Now Ice Path in as well. BKB's up though. Chaos Knight is he's not taking no for an answer here. He's charging in on Puck. Puck takes a 3-second stun. Puck goes down. We've got Lucio getting thrown there. Korok now going to town there on Jakiro. A gem has been dropped on the ground. Can they recover it? Jakiro is about to fall. Jakiro gets clubbed to death. Nexus now in trouble. Reality Rift getting cancelled by the Lincoln Spear. He cops a Chaos Bolt, and this is not good news for Moscow 5. Do they have buybacks left? Jakiro has a buyback. We've also got... No, Jakiro has a buyback, but that's it. Only Jakiro can buy back, and with only Tidehunter, they're not going to be able to sustain a defense against that. Now the attack is coming out from Quantic. They do have the heals as well to sustain the push. They've got the mana, they've got the health there from Keeper of the Light, Tether on top of that. They should have Earn Charges from Wisp on top of that. The push power now from Illuminate just going to go slamming through there. 12 seconds on Rust, but he doesn't have an ultimate left. He's already blown that. A counter attack from Quantic. They may be able to bring this one back. A mid-Rax should fall here. I'll be honestly very surprised if they don't drag down this melee Rax. I do not believe Moscow 5 can engage here, although they do have Ravage ready if they want to go. There we go. There's the macro bug gets thrown, but the counter blinks in. He blinks into the tether, gets stunned. Tidehunter does not have the ability to get silenced as well by the Orca. They drop the 2 mid-Raxes. And Quantic have executed a perfect counter-attack here. Moscow 5 are left scratching their heads wondering how the hell did that go wrong. And it came down to just a single gank there on Setoi. BKB's up, teleports home. And once again, Quantic and Moscow 5 on an even footing. And it just comes down to the fact Tidehunter got ganked. They engaged badly in the mid there. Got brought down by BKBs that they just could not cut through. They just could not cut through the BKBs on Clinks. Could not cut through the BKBs on the Chaos Knight as well. And then Chaos Knight even has a Heaven's Halberd now. And to boot, I think the other major issue is, you just see Morphling. He's just not able to go total. Clinks has just gone all out damage, has got some good defense. Morphling has got a very situational ability. Very, very situational defensive spell there, Lincoln Spear. Whereas if he went just, I honestly believe this is why the Chinese just do Bottle, Manta, BKB. Because without something like Raw, you just can't mess with the BKB. Sure, they've got the Lasso, they can go through it, but it's the kind of thing that you can try and defend Morphling against, counter stun, or just hold him at the back, hold him back for after the Lasso has been used. I really feel like the Lincolns is a huge waste in the current metagame. But we'll see. It just comes down to the fact that Clinks, look how hard he's hitting for right now. 300 plus. 300 plus at the moment. And then you throw in the fact that he's also 300, then you throw in Searing Arrows, then you throw in Strafe, and then you throw in the damage amp from Crystallis, as well as the Orchid. That's just ridiculous. Morphling just cannot even hold a candle to that. Morphling is getting close with a DD rune. This is how disgusting Clinks is at the moment. The blink in, there's the Lasso again, 4-star backwards. Fantastic play by Batrider there. They will pick off Jakiro. Or maybe not. No, he does get cleaned up by a flame break in the end. 4 seconds stun there on Setoi. Setoi though, looks like he activates that Ghost Step to try and keep himself safe. Batrider now looking for a second target. Jumps in once again. Sticky Napalm all over Puck. Puck now in the middle of a Firefly. Can he get away? No, pops up in the Firefly and a Tether will get cleaned up. Mass stuns there. Quantic shutting down Moscow 5. They teleport mid. They're looking for a kill on Solo. He hexes. He's going to try and hex. He's going to try and shackle. It's not going to happen. A Tether will stun him down. And another kill. They've got another 3 heroes down, another 30-50 seconds. What are they going to do with it? Will they try and sweep the top? They could indeed. Nexus is vulnerable there. He can't defend that alone. They might even just push the mid, then sweep the top. That is definitely a possibility. See, the Wisp is going to be the last to arrive, but it's okay. They've already got 4 really strong heroes. 30 seconds now on both Puck, who does have one of the hexes, as well as Shadow Shaman there as well. Do they have BKBs active? 17 seconds for Clinks, as well as 5 seconds for Chaos Knight. Yes, they will have BKBs active when it counts. When the Rasta and the Puck are up, they will have BKB. Now, Titanus still has the Ravage. They will need to watch out for that. Will they actually sweep? No, I think they're going to back off here. And Clinks has finished the Daedalus. So it looks like Morphling now is going for... Oh, I believe he's going for a Skadi. It's the only reason I can see him getting another Ultimate Orb. Now, Skadi is definitely quite powerful. The attack speed slow will help out on Clinks a bit, but in all honesty, I think right now he still lacks the raw DPS to go toe-to-toe with Clinks. And I feel like at this stage in time, like Butterfly may have been a better choice. A, better damage output. B, 30% evasion is also going to cut down a lot of damage from Clinks until he gets a Monkey King Bar, and that's if he gets a Monkey King Bar. If they can put enough pressure on him, because he already committed to the Daedalus, if they can put enough pressure on him, that would definitely help out. If they still drop the gem. Somebody was pointing to a gem on the ground. In fact, who recovered the gem? It's currently being held by Keeper. Keeper has picked up a Mystic Staff. I believe he'll probably go for a Hex over a Shivas. I don't really think they need the Shivas that much at the moment. Shadow Shaman now. Looks like Roshan will be up in a couple of minutes here. Smoke up from Quantic. Looking for some trouble. I don't know what that looks like. They're going to find it in a second. Moscow 5 are moving out as group. Do they have another gem up? I'm just looking for it. They have thrown in a counter ward, so probably no gem there. No, it does not look like Moscow 5 are currently carrying a gem. Meanwhile, there's illusions up there. Morphling also having an illusion there. Both teams know that Roshan is going to... The next Roshan will drop a cheese as well, and that will be a huge